This video is brought to you by Squarespace. From aesthetically pleasing websites to marketing tools, Squarespace is my favorite all-in-one platform for building an online brand and business presence. I'm sure you know the story by now. I switched over to Squarespace over a year ago, not only for their aesthetically pleasing templates, but also their product features, which included everything I needed to grow my business online. So if you're also a solo entrepreneur looking to grow your online business, I think Squarespace might have what you're looking for. With Squarespace scheduling, clients can easily view your availability and book their own appointments or classes. You can save a lot of time by automating appointment confirmations, reminders, follow-ups, and intake forms. With Squarespace membership, you can sell membership access to not only online courses and classes, but also videos, paid newsletters, communities, and more. Last but not least, Squarespace email marketing helps you tie it all together. You can create compelling emails with your existing products, blog posts, and design elements so that your branding is consistent and recognizable. Check out squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to my link squarespace.com/ediyasmr for 10% off your first website or domain. Thank you so much, Squarespace. And now let's get into the video. Hi there, and welcome to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. In this video, you're going to have 3 groups to choose from as usual. And if you're watching this at the time of upload, you might notice some current astrological themes playing out energetically in your reading. But for the most part, do keep in mind that these readings are meant to be timeless, because energy is timeless and we're all moving on different timelines. Now with that said, let's get into a quick meditation to get centered before we look at the groups today. And for that, I have my singing bowl. So I'm going to ring this 3 times. And with each ring, take a deep breath in and a complete breath out. Soften the body, get into your body. Create space between the eyebrows. Soften your gaze. Drop your cheeks. Drop your jaw. Allow your face to melt. And lower your awareness down, down, down into the body. Bring your awareness to your heart center. Lower the shoulders. Soften the arms. Soften the legs as well. Sink a little deeper into your seat. As you listen to your reading today, make sure that you listen from the heart. Listen for emotional resonance. Take only the messages that resonate on a deep level. Take the messages that empower you, that make you feel something emotionally. That's when you'll know it's for you. And now, if you're ready, you can open your eyes and look at the 3 groups before you. I used the Reclaim Oracle deck to help us today with choosing our groups. For group 1, we have this reddish opaque crystal or stone. I believe I found this on the beach, so I don't know what it is. But for group 1, we have 2 cards. We have Lust and Closure. For group 2, we have Yellow-Orange Agate. And the 2 cards for group 2 are Boredom and Integrity. For group 3, we have a piece of a citrine quartz that broke off. And the 2 cards for group 3 are Loss and Sadness. Which group is calling you? Which group do you feel drawn to? Which group is standing out to you? Don't think too hard. Go with your feeling. And know that you can always listen to more than one reading. So just go with the one that you're most drawn to right now to get started. And when you've chosen your group, you can go down to the timestamps below, and I'll see you over there in your reading. If you chose group 1, this reddish stone and the 2 cards, Closure and Lust, then this is your reading, group 1. Hi, group 1. So I tried recording earlier, and I already pulled out some cards, but I was facing a lot of interruptions. So I'm just going to go over the beginning once again with the cards that are already out. So we're going to start with your current energies, and for that I pulled some cards from the Golden Universal Tarot deck. We have 2 messages here. Let's begin with the first one with the reverse 10 of Swords and the Fool. What I'm seeing here is that you are struggling to let go of an old story about what has been that is preventing you from embarking on a new journey, from walking away and starting anew. And to understand the reverse 10 of Swords, let me explain what it is when it's upright. Before we get to the 10 of Swords, we have the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Swords is when we are completely overwhelmed by our thoughts. Our thoughts are so loud that it keeps us up at night and we can't go to sleep. We're pacing back and forth in the kitchen. That's the 9 of Swords energy. It is when the mind has completely taken over. And when we get to the 10 of Swords, it is like a complete surrender. It's having considered the worst case scenario to such a point that it doesn't even bother us anymore. It's like, so what if this happens? Like at this point, I'm so exhausted. I'm so drained and done with these ridiculous thoughts that even if the worst case scenario happens, I know I'll deal with it. It's having given in and given up. So the Ten of Swords is complete surrender of the mind, letting the thoughts fly away, really giving up instead of entertaining the thoughts. And as much as surrender doesn't sound very good, right? To give up doesn't sound very good. But the feeling of it is actually so liberating. It's freeing to surrender the mind like this, to no longer believe our thoughts, to give into the worst case scenario and not let it touch us in a fear-provoking way. So that's the Ten of Swords. When we can surrender our thoughts like this, it's liberating, it's freeing. But it seems that you are holding on still. Maybe you're looking for an apology. You're waiting for someone to apologize to you about what has happened. You're looking for an explanation as to why things happened the way they did. Know that you don't need closure like this. It doesn't have to come to you through external forms. You can receive closure internally by simply letting go of this story about the way things have been. You can let go of your position within the story instead of trying to justify why you're right. Maybe nobody's right and nobody's wrong, and things just happen and people were hurt, right? Let go of your position in the story. Let go of the story altogether. The fact that something ended is all the closure you need, right? That's closure. The ending is all the closure you need. So take that and release the story so you can move forward. The Fool card is about a new beginning because this is the first card of the major arcana. When we're in Fool energy, we are naive, innocent, open-minded. We have a beginner's mindset and we are willing to learn and take risks. And you're being encouraged to step into this energy. But you can only step into this energy if you let go of what has been, this old story. And recognize that we have the Ten of Swords here and not the world. So it's really just the story of what has been that's holding you back. It's the mental narrative, the thoughts that are holding you back, because it seems like what happened, and that's done, but it's just your thoughts about it that you're struggling to move on from. So if you can let go of your thoughts about the past, you'll be able to embrace a new beginning and embark on a new path. We also have the Tower along with the Three of Wands. The Tower tells me that this ending probably happened quite abruptly. You most definitely did not see it coming because you were very emotionally invested in it and mostly in the idea of what was happening rather than the reality of it. That was probably why you didn't see it coming. You put your heart and soul into building this tower from the ground up. And the fact that the tower is so high, to me, in this image, it represents being lost in our thoughts and ideas about the reality of the situation. Not seeing the reality for what it is, but being lost in your idea of the situation. So much so that divine intervention had to happen to dismantle this thing. Maybe this thing is a relationship for some of you, or a project, or a system, a belief system, something that you invested a lot of energy into. And it had to come to an end because it was built on shaky grounds. It did not have a solid foundation for it to continue sustaining itself. It just could not have continued the way that it was, so it had to be dismantled. So I want you to really let that sink in. This thing that you were emotionally attached to, that you invested a lot of your heart and soul into, was built on shaky grounds. it just could not have continued the way that it was. And rather than seeing the reality for what it was, you were lost in your idea of it. And that's why it's so hard for you to come to terms with this ending, because so much of it has to do with your thoughts about it, your perception of it, not the reality of it, right? You're invested in trajectory, in one singular way that you thought your life would play out. But know that actually, thinking in such a way was very limiting. And thank God this tower came to an end, because now you have so many more opportunities available to you, so many more timelines that you can explore, so many paths you can walk down. Be the fool and explore. Realize your fullest potential. Be expansive in how you see your reality and what's available to you and what's possible. Because this tower in the past that you were investing in is very limiting, and you deserve so much more than that. You can do so much more with your life. So it's time to explore now and experiment and see what truly makes you happy and what gets you excited. Now, let's go into some advice with the Osho deck. I pulled out these two cards earlier. We have Mind and Understanding. And I feel called to read to you the commentary on both of these cards. Let's begin with Mind. This is what happens when we forget that the mind is meant to be a servant and start to allow it to run our lives. The head is filled with mechanisms, the mouth is ranting and raving, and the whole surrounding atmosphere is being polluted by this factory of arguments and opinions. But wait, you say, the mind is what makes us human. It's the source of all progress, all great truths. If you believe that, try an experiment. Go into your room, shut the door, turn on a tape recorder, and give yourself total permission to say whatever is on your mind. If you really allow it to all come out without any censorship or editing, you'll be amazed at the amount of rubbish that comes spewing forth. The page of clouds is telling you that somebody, somewhere, is stuck in a head trip. Take a look and make sure it isn't you. Osho says, this is the situation of your head. I see bicycle handles and pedals and strange things that you have gathered from everywhere. Such a small head and no space to live in. And that rubbish goes on moving in your head. Your head goes on spinning and weaving. It keeps you occupied. Just think what kind of thoughts go on inside your mind. One day, just sit, close your doors, and write down for half an hour whatsoever is passing in your mind. And you'll understand what I mean. And you'll be surprised what goes on inside your mind. It remains in the background. It is constantly there. It surrounds you like a cloud. With this cloud, you cannot know reality. You cannot attain spiritual perception. This cloud has to be dropped. And it is just with your decision to drop it that it will disappear. You are clinging to it. The cloud is not interested in you, remember. So there are two assignments here for you. Number one, you can record yourself on your phone and just say whatever comes to your mind and watch yourself afterwards to gain some level of detachment from the mind. The other thing you can do is auto-journaling. Write down whatever comes to mind for half an hour, and you can read that back to yourself afterwards to gain some awareness and again detachment from the mind. Now let me read to you understanding. The bird pictured on this card is looking out from what seems to be a cage. There is no door, and actually the bars are disappearing. The bars were an illusion, and this small bird is being summoned by the grace and freedom and encouragement of the others. It is spreading its wings, ready to take flight for the very first time. The dawn of a new understanding that the cage has always been open and the sky has always been there for us to explore can make us feel a little shaky at first. It's fine and natural to be shaky, but don't let it overshadow the opportunity to experience the lightheartedness and adventure on offer. Right there alongside the shakiness. Move with the sweetness and gentleness of this time. Feel the fluttering within. Spread your wings and be free. Osho says, you are out of jail, out of the cage. You can open your wings and the whole sky is yours. All the stars and the moon and the sun belong to you. You can disappear into the blueness of the beyond. Just drop clinging to this cage. Move out of the cage and the whole sky is yours. Open your wings and fly across the sun like an eagle. In the inner sky, in the inner world, freedom is the highest value. Everything else is secondary, even blissfulness, ecstasy. There are thousands of flowers, uncountable, but they all become possible in the climate of freedom. So right now you're being caged in by your thoughts, by the mind, by this old story. Realize that these bars are illusions. The mind itself is an illusion. There's nothing holding you back. There's nothing preventing closure but you. Detach from your mind. Recognize that your thoughts are just thoughts. They don't really exist. They're the only things holding you back and preventing you from perceiving what's actually available to you. They're the only things preventing you from being free, from taking bigger and better opportunities, from stepping forward into adventure. Just your mind and your thoughts, that's it, nothing else. Give yourself closure and move on. Beautiful. I loved those two messages. I think we really needed to hear that. Now I'm going to go into future energies. What might be possible in the future if you are to follow the advice here? Wow, this is great. Okay, one more card to go along with that, please. Okay. You get the Lovers. See, I told you so. You also have the Three of Cups, and that is so nice to see alongside the Lovers. So the Lovers is following the path of love, right? What is truly in alignment with you. So in terms of relationships, this is finding a partner who can withstand the test of time, who can face all of life's challenges with you because the two of you share the same core values. In terms of career, this is working alongside people who share the same vision as you and the same values. So things are harmonious and collaborative in the best sense possible. And, you know, if you're not interested in either and you're just trying to live your best life, this is you being in alignment with your core values and really honoring your truth and who you really are and taking decisive action on that. Choosing yourself before anything else, listening to your needs, what makes you happy, following your deepest desires. That's the Lovers. To see that with the Three of Cups shows me that you're going to be connecting with people who you are really going to feel a soul bond with. You're going to be celebrating with them, feeling a lot of love and joy in your connection with them. This is celebration. This is soul family. This is joy, happiness, festivities, you know, friendship, and love, of course. So I really like this for you. See, there is so much goodness available to you. You just have to let go of your thoughts and choose this. I want to get one more card for the outcome position. What else do we need to know about future energies that are available? Oh, this is so nice. You have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is about changing your perception of reality, seeing things in a new light. And because it's a Cups card, it has to do with your emotions. So it's like a subtle change, an overflowing of emotions that makes you feel different about life and your circumstances. So the way I like to describe this is, it's kind of like shifting timelines and waking up one morning and just feeling like something has shifted, something changed. You're seeing your reality from a new perspective, in a new light. Things just look a little bit different, but you can't pinpoint what that is. You just feel different about yourself, about your reality, about what's possible. So that's the Ace of Cups, a change in your perception, awakening to more. Emotionally, spiritually, awakening to more. Expansion, that's what this is. And this is a new beginning in terms of love as well. So this can be finding true love, finding new love, if you're asking about a relationship, since we have the Lovers, Ace of Cups, and Three of Cups. So this can be finding true love, a new partner that makes you feel great. Just to feel an overpour of emotions, and who you want to, you know, have a lot of fun with and celebrate with. And why don't we get some oracle cards now? Let's get a card from the Moonology deck. The answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. So that Gemini is about communication. It's also about our thoughts. So I'm going to take this two ways. You might get the communication that you're looking for to really, you know, have the closure you need. At the same time, don't count on it. Do this for yourself first, and that might be what attracts external forms of communication into your life. So communicate internally with yourself first. Get the answers you need within yourself, and that's going to attract the very same thing in its external form. So the answers you need are coming. You will receive communication, but you have to take responsibility for your part in getting those answers yourself, internally first, if that makes sense. Let's get one more card. You have nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon. So that's the Three of Wands energy here, right? With the Fool. Nothing is set in stone. There's so many timelines and paths to explore. So many paths you can walk down. Nothing is set in stone. Get to know yourself and what you truly, truly desire. What actually makes you happy. Forget about this tower. You wanted this to be set in stone, but trust me, this was a blessing in disguise. Forget about this. Nothing is set in stone, and this is really, truly the greatest blessing for you, because now you have an opportunity at true love within yourself by honoring who you really are and what you really want and what you really need, and also an opportunity to find people that will really make you happy and here to support you in this life. Let's get one more message from the Work Your Light deck before we go. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So that's like the Fool card. The Fool is innocent, naive, and he's bound to make mistakes and take unnecessary risks in the name of learning. But he has a guide. He has a spirit guide here, represented by the dog. The white represents wisdom and purity. And the dog protects him. The dog keeps him safe, nudging him in the right direction and telling him when it's unsafe, when he needs to walk away. So you are supported. If you truly knew you were supported, what would you do? Let that be a journal prompt for you. You have your guides. They're supporting you, nudging you every step along the way. So what do you want to do knowing that? And that is your reading, Group 1. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that this reading was helpful. Let me know in the comments below, and I will talk to you very soon. Oh, also, if you would like more readings from me, I do 2 exclusive readings on Patreon every single month. One for the new moon and one for the full moon. Both are followed by Reiki activations to work with the energetics on a deeper level. So if that resonates with you, I would love to see you over there. If not, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here. Sending love, light, and healing. Bye. If you chose Group 2, this yellow-orange agate, then this is your reading. You also got the cards Integrity and Boredom. So we're going to begin with your current energies, and I'm going to get right into it with the Golden Universal Tarot deck. So what are your current energies, Group 2? What do we need to know about your situation? Okay, so we have 4 cards here. We have the Queen of Wands, the King of Cups, 6 of Wands, and 10 of Pentacles. Let's begin with these 2 cards here. The Queen of Wands is all about integrity. The Queen of Wands is unapologetically herself. She doesn't shy away from revealing her truths and speaking on her truths. She has her black cat front and center here, even though for hundreds of years the black cat has been considered a bad omen. So basically the message she is sending to us is, I don't care what you think. I love my cat, so my cat is going to stay here with me. I don't give a crap about what you think and how you feel. This is who I am, take it or leave it. So she is unapologetically herself, and because of that, she is very magnetic and attractive to people around her. people, are intrigued by her because she's able to do something that most aren't. She doesn't have a persona. She's just herself. She's just authentic. And so people want to be her, but they also at the same time are sort of afraid of her, jealous of her, judgmental of her. And so I hope I'm painting a good enough picture. I'm sure you know people like this who are just so free in who they are that others don't quite get it, but at the same time they're intrigued. And so it looks like there is a desire in you to become the Queen of Wands. The King of Cups is about emotional maturity and having enough presence and awareness to hold space for the most volatile, intense emotions. So as much as you may be afraid to reveal who you really are and your truths, you have enough emotional maturity at this point to face your fears and to take action on being the Queen of Wands anyways. You have enough emotional maturity, enough awareness and capacity to hold space for yourself as you challenge yourself to do this. So I really like this energy. It's very mature. You also have the Six of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. The Six of Wands is telling me that there might be some reluctance in letting go of your old identity built on past successes, because people might have grown accustomed to seeing you a certain way and you are a little bit reluctant in letting that go. This can represent your persona, so people know you by your persona but they don't really know your core truths, and you know that you have to let go of this persona and your past successes, that name that you made for yourself, in order to invite people to get to know you on a deeper level. You have to reveal that. The only way to reveal that is to let go of your persona and your attachment to your past successes and the identity you've built around that. You have the Ten of Pentacles here, and I want clarification on this because I don't know if it is what I think it is. Okay, yeah. So it's not what I thought it was. It's Ten of Pentacles. You're looking at long-term success. So maybe you are considering what the foundations you have to lay in order to achieve long-term success in your relationships, in your career, whatever it is. You're focused on what is stable, what is secure, and what's going to really go the mile. For clarification, you have the Chariot, so you're very adamant about this. You're very focused on this, and there's really no turning back anymore. You want to have integrity and follow through with building long-term success. This is very mature energy coming through. I really like this. Now, why don't we get some advice? Alright, so you have New Vision and the Master. I want to read to you the commentaries for both of these. The figure on this card is born anew, emerging from his earthbound roots and growing wings to fly into the unbounded. The geometric shapes around the body of the figure show the many dimensions of life simultaneously available to him. The square represents the physical, the manifest, the known. The circle represents the unmanifest, the spirit, pure space. And the triangle symbolizes the threefold nature of the universe. Now you are presented with an opportunity to see life in all its dimensions, from the depths to the heights. They exist together, and when we come to know from experience that the dark and the difficult are needed as much as the light and easy, then we begin to have a very different perspective on the world. By allowing all of life's colors to penetrate us, we become more integrated. Osho says, when you open up to the ultimate, immediately it pours into you. You are no longer an ordinary human being. You have transcended. Your insight has become the insight of the whole experience. Now you are no longer separate. You have found your roots. Otherwise, ordinarily, everybody is moving without roots, not knowing from where their heart goes on receiving energy, not knowing who goes on breathing in them, not knowing the life juice that is running inside them. It is not the body, it is not the mind, it is something transcendental to all duality that is calling the ultimate in all 10 directions. Your inner being, when it opens, first experiences 2 directions, the height, the depth. And then slowly, as this becomes your established situation, you start looking around, spreading into all other 8 directions. And once you have attained the point where your height and your depth meet, then you can look around to the very circumference of the universe. Then your consciousness starts unfolding in all 10 directions, but the road has been won. Wow, so that's a really deep message. You might want to replay that part. I'm hearing that this has to do with your purpose. You're looking for your true calling. You're trying to figure out what that is for you, what you're meant to share with the world in this lifetime. And it says here that people go on without roots, without knowing where their heart goes on receiving energy, without knowing who goes on breathing in them, without knowing the life juice that is running inside them. So it's hinting at your life force energy. That is the key in this quest of yours. If you're looking for your purpose, you have to connect to your life force. Your life force is existence breathing into you. Your life force is what keeps your heart beating. It's what gives you life. It's quite literally what keeps you alive. And that is where you're going to realize your true calling. There's a reason why we call life force energy creative energy, or sexual energy, or in Jungian terms, libido. There's a reason why it's called that, because it's literally energy that gives life. It's energy that creates, right? So when you channel existence, you're bound to create something and share that with the world. Now, the only way to know what that is to connect to existence first, to root yourself, to really feel the pulse inside you and harness that energy and cultivate it. So you have to root yourself. You have to study this energy and get to know existence from an experiential place. Now I'm going to read to you the Master. Where is the Master? the Master doesn't have a number. I think this is a special card within this deck. The Master in Zen is not a master over others, but a master of himself. His every gesture and his every word reflect his enlightened state. He has no private goals, no desire that anything should be other than the way it is. His disciples gather around him not to follow him, but to soak up his presence and be inspired by his example. In his eyes, they find their own truth reflected, and in his silence, they fall more easily into the silence of their own beings. The Master welcomes the disciples not because he wants to lead them, but because he has so much to share. Together, they create an energy field that supports each unique individual in finding his or her own light. If you can find such a master, you are blessed. If you cannot, keep on searching. Learn from the teachers and the would-be masters and move on. Shiraiveti, said Gautam Buddha. Keep on moving. Osho says, beyond the mind, there is an awareness that is intrinsic, that is not given to you by the outside, and is not an idea. And there is no experiment up to now that has found any center in the brain which corresponds to awareness. The whole work of meditation is to make you aware of all that is mind and disidentify yourself from it. That very separation is the greatest revolution that can happen to man. Now you can do and act on only that which makes you more joyous, fulfills you, gives you contentment, makes your life a work of art, a beauty. But this is possible only if the Master in you is awake. Right now, the Master is fast asleep, and the mind, the servant, is playing the role of master. But the servant is not even your servant. The servant is created by the outside world. It follows the outside world and its laws. Once your awareness becomes a flame, it burns up all the slavery that the mind has created. There is no blissfulness more precious than freedom, than being a master of your own destiny. So I feel like this is talking about the Ten of Pentacles here. You're really in search of becoming your own master. You're very determined in this search. There's no looking back. There's a lot of focus and determination. And you're really wanting to master your emotions and your inner reality. Now, being a master is does not happen out of control. Being a master happens from being able to disidentify yourself from what is not you. Being a master is being awareness itself, being existence. So know that your calling, whatever that is going to come through the clarity that happens in pure awareness when you're not identified with your thoughts. Your calling is not going to come through pros and cons lists. It's not going to come through strategizing and using the mind. Your purpose, your calling is going to come from a much deeper place. It's going to come wordless, It's going to come just as a feeling that you have to follow. It's beyond the mind. It's not going to come through the mind. So get that into your head. Your calling is not going to come through the mind. So stop strategizing. Stop trying to figure it out by journaling. Be with awareness. Be with existence. Just be. Embrace non-action and just be. When you're disidentified with your thoughts, when you distance yourself from what is not you, you get to know who you really are. You don't have to know what that is just yet. You just have to learn to be you, but to be. Now, let's get some cards for what might be available to you in the future if you are to follow this advice. You have the Empress, which represents divine feminine energy, sacred feminine energy. And within this context, this represents non-action because feminine energy flows. It is sovereign, it surrenders, and it attracts, it pulls. Whereas masculine energy pushes, right? It pushes against its confines, it challenges the status quo. Feminine is the complete opposite. It's non-action. It's being so sovereign that things come to you. So you're encouraged to learn about your feminine side, to step into the feminine polarity, to move about life in a more feminine way in order to get to where you want to be. At this point along your journey, being feminine as opposed to masculine is going to really serve you. And this is also hinting at the body. You have to ground yourself. If the mind is masculine, the body is feminine. The masculine has to do with what is conscious and apparent. So things at the mind level that we're very aware of, and things that are on the outside. The feminine has to do with what is not apparent, what is unmanifested and subtle, and what is on the inside that is a mystery that has yet to be revealed, that is within the subconscious. Work with your internal reality, work with what you cannot see, work with being in your body, work with felt sense, work with grounding yourself and nurturing your subconscious into revealing your truths to you. So that was more advice, but this also tells us that you'll eventually get to a point of really being tapped into your feminine. And you have the Ace of Cups. I really like this because this is like seeing things in a new light, especially with the Three of Wands. So you're going to awaken to a new perspective. Your perception will shift. And it's kind of like jumping timelines. And I said this for group 1 as well. It's like you wake up one day and you just see your life in a new light. You can't really pinpoint what has changed, but you just feel differently about yourself, about your circumstances, and reality as a whole. So this is a spiritual awakening, emotional awakening that makes you feel different about your reality and who you are. And with the Three of Wands, you're really going to expand your worldview and what you perceive to be possible for yourself. You're going to be so much more receptive also in this state. And this is also quite feminine because he's waiting for his ships to sail in. He's not jumping into the water to swim to the ships, but he's waiting for the ships to sail in. He's waiting. He's patient. He is sovereign, and he knows his ships will come. So this is non-action again. It's not that he's not taking action, but it's just that he knows at this time, action would be just a waste of energy. At this time, all he has to do is trust that what he needs and what he wants is coming. So attract, be in a receptive state, practice non-action, know that what you are looking for is coming to you. It will be revealed to you. And there is so much more available to you than what you currently know to be possible. So keep that in mind and look forward to an expansion in your perception of reality. Okay, maybe we can get one more card. Oh, perfect. So there is a new beginning because you also have the Ace of Wands. 2 wands really signify a new beginning. The Ace of Wands is your Kundalini energy awakening. And I know Kundalini is a big word to be throwing around because it's so mystified in spiritual communities. But let me really dumb it down for you and simplify it, because this is something we all experience. It's not, it shouldn't be shrouded in mystery. Kundalini energy is your life force. It's the reason why you are alive. When it is awakened, when it's expanded on, you can begin to feel more alive, more creative, more adventurous, more free, more purposeful. It's just feeling so alive, like all of a sudden your life has meaning and there are things you want to do. This is like the opposite of depression, so to speak. When this energy comes online and it's free flowing and it's expanded on, you just feel like there are things for you to do, things for you to explore, and you just want to live life to its fullest. That's what this is. So you're going to be awakening your Kundalini, and I love that. Know that this comes from being connected to your body first and foremost, because it's an energy that's rooted in your lower body, right? So you have to awaken movement in your body and in your spine to harness this energy. Challenge yourself to be more spontaneous from now on, to be more creative, explore creative outlets. Challenge yourself to speak your truth and to just put yourself out there. These are great ways to awaken this energy. Do things differently. Shake up your routine. Shake up your energy. That's what's going to awaken your Kundalini. Now, let's get some cards from the Work Your Light. Oh, no, this is the Moonology deck. Let's get a message here. Confidence is your key to success. New Moon in Leo. I see this as the Ace of Wands, confidence, spontaneity, creative impulse, putting yourself out there, showing up. I see that here. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. So stop trying to think your way forward. Thinking's not going to help you in this process. Surrender the thinking. Keep facing your true north. Connect to your body and just embrace this adventure. The Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits. Soul Tribe. It's all coming together. Trust that. Wait for the intuitive hits to arrive. Don't go looking for it. Just be. Embrace being, and it will come. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. Know that you are awakening and things are happening at a deep level within you, for the simple reason that you've chosen to embark on this soul expansive journey. So trust that as these energetic upgrades happen in the background, you will notice shifts externally and in your perception of reality. Beautiful. So that was your reading, group 2. Thank you so much for being here. And let me know in the comments how it went. I would love to hear from you. This is a really exciting journey that you're on. And if you'd like more readings from me and more guidance, I do 2 new readings every single month on Patreon, one for the new moon and one for the full moon, both followed by Reiki activations to work with the energetics on a deeper level. So if that resonates with you, I would love to see you over there. If not, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here. Sending love, light, and healing. If you chose group 3, this broken piece of citrine quartz, and the 2 cards, sadness and loss, then this is your reading. So we're going to get started with your current energies. I'm going to be shuffling the Golden Universal Tarot deck. So group 3, sadness, loss, citrine quartz. What do we need to know about your current situation? So let's start with these 2. You have the 5 of Pentacles and the 7 of Wands. So I'm seeing here that you have been overly protective of your ego because of insecurities that perhaps stem from unresolved emotional wounds. So we're going to start with the 5 of Pentacles. This is the card of a lack, scarcity, poverty mindset. This is feeling not good enough, believing that you are undeserving, unworthy. In this image, there are 2 beggars. They're right next to a church. They could easily seek asylum. The pentacles that they're begging for are right there for them to take. But instead, they choose to be out here in the cold because they simply are not able to see that what they are needing is available to them. So it is feeling like we are not good enough when the truth is we are completely deserving and worthy. So you may believe that you're not good enough, that you are different in some sense, that you don't deserve what you want or need, but the truth is you do. So keep that in mind, that the truth is you are inherently worthy. The only reason you believe that you are not and you're unable to see the opportunities available to you is because there are unresolved emotional wounds that are preventing you from perceiving what's available. You have the 7 of Wands, which is the card of boundaries. Now, on its higher polarity, it's healthy boundaries, right? Protecting our identity against other people's opinions and words and whatnot. But I find that oftentimes when I get this card, it is when we've gone overboard with our boundaries, when we've put up walls so high that it completely disconnects us from people and opportunities, when we've become so overly defensive and guarded about our egos that nothing's getting through. There's no vulnerability, openness, or honesty. We're simply missing out on possible connections and really great experiences. So I feel like that's what's happening here. You're missing out on connection and opportunities and experiences because you're allowing yourself to believe that you're unworthy of something here, undeserving, that you can't have what you want, that you're different or just not good enough. Let's get some more cards about this. What else do we need to know regarding your situation? This might have to do with speech. Maybe you have been very detached and cold in the way you communicate, and this has been off-putting for the people that you've been communicating with. Maybe you're doing this out of fear, out of trying to protect yourself, but it's actually disconnecting you from those that you really need to be connecting with right now. Yeah, because the Queen of Swords is somebody who protects their ego by being emotionally detached and sharp with their words. And I'm just seeing here that what's needed is not detachment or guardedness. It's actually what's called for is vulnerability, honesty, letting your guards down so you can trust what's happening and share your inner reality. There's a need for vulnerability and honesty here. You have to let down your guard and share what's actually going on the inside instead of appearing cold and detached and harsh. That's not what's needed at this time. That's actually holding you back from a lot of goodness that's available in your situation. Okay, I'm going to go into advice now with the Osho deck. You have sharing and trust. I want to read to you the commentaries on both of these cards. Let's start with sharing. The Queen of Fire is so rich, so much a queen that she can afford to give. It doesn't even occur to her to take inventories or to put something aside for later. She dispenses her treasures without limits, welcoming all to partake of the abundance, fertility, and light that surrounds her. When you draw this card, it suggests that you too are in a situation where you have an opportunity to share your love, your joy, and your laughter. And in sharing, you will find that you feel even fuller. There's no need to go anywhere or to make any special effort. You find that you can enjoy sensuality without possessiveness or attachment, can give birth to a child or to a new project with an equal sense of creativity fulfilled. Everything around you seems to be coming together now. Enjoy it. Ground yourself in it, and let the abundance in you and around you overflow. Osho says, as you move up to the fourth center, that is the heart, your whole life becomes a sharing of love. The third center has created the abundance of love. By reaching the third center in meditation, you have become so overflowing with love, with compassion, that you want to share. That happens at the fourth center, the heart. That's why even in the ordinary world, people think love comes out of the heart. For them, it is just hearsay. They have heard it. They don't know it because they have never reached their heart. But the meditator finally reaches the heart. As he reaches the center of his being, the third center, suddenly an explosion of love and compassion and joy and blissfulness and benediction arises in him, with such a flow that it hits his heart, opening the heart. The heart is just in the middle of all your 7 centers. 3 centers below, 3 centers above. You have come exactly to the middle. So the advice here is that if you allow yourself to be the bigger person and give to your situation, share your love, your joy, your laughter, you will find that those insecurities dissolve. They kind of fall away. You'll be able to feel full in the giving. There's no need to make any special effort in appearing strong. There's no need in doing any of that. if you can let down your guard and actually share the warmth in you, you'll feel so much more abundant. It's like being tapped into those 5 pentacles close to you. So being cold, detached, and guarded is not confidence. This is not power. This is just being harsh and distant for no reason. This is disempowering for all parties involved, right? So if you want to harness power and confidence in your situation, you must be able to feel an abundance of love and compassion in your third and fourth center. So cultivate compassion in search for power and confidence. Now, let me read to you trust. Now is the moment to be a bungee jumper without the cord. And it is this quality of absolute trust, with no reservations or secret safety nets, that the Night of Water demands from us. There is a tremendous sense of exhilaration if we can take the jump and move into the unknown, even if the idea scares us to death. And when we take trust to the level of the quantum leap, we don't make any elaborate plans or preparations. We don't say, okay, I trust that I know what to do now. I'll settle my things and pack my suitcase and take it with me. No, we just jump, with hardly a thought for what happens next. The leap is the thing and the thrill of it, as we free fall through the empty sky. The card gives a hint here, though, about what waits for us at the other end. Soft, welcoming, yummy, pink, rose petals, juicy. Come on. I love that. Come on. Osho says, don't waste your life for that which is going to be taken away. Trust life. If you trust, only then can you drop your knowledge. Only then can you put your mind aside. And with this trust, something immense opens up. Then this life is no longer ordinary life. It becomes full of godliness, overflowing. When the heart is innocent and the walls have disappeared, you are bridged with infinity. And you are not deceived. There is nothing that can be taken away from you. That which can be taken from you is not worth keeping. And that which can be taken from you, why should one be afraid of its being taken away? It cannot be taken away. There is no possibility. You cannot lose your real treasure. So trust your situation. Trust the connection that's possible if you just take the leap. And don't think about taking that leap, just take the leap. There's no need to think or make elaborate plans or preparation. You just gotta do it. It's the thrill of it that makes it so exhilarating. And know that what's waiting for you is soft, welcoming, precious, juicy. And also trust that what can be taken away from you was not yours to begin with. What is yours can never be taken away from you. So you're really not losing in trusting life and trusting this situation, putting yourself out there. You're not going to lose. This is a win-win situation. Now let's get some cards for future energies that may be available to you if you are to follow the advice here. Nice. You have 3 major arcanas in the outcome position. That's powerful. This is a big deal. So if you can really learn from your situation and take the advice that is here, big things are going to happen. This is a huge spiritual lesson for you. So I know that is probably really difficult for you to listen to all of this and to try to take the advice that is here, but it will be worthwhile if you do. You have the Death card, the Justice card, and the Fool. The Death is telling you that you're going to be able to let go of an old version of self. You're going to be able to completely transform, have a well-deserved metamorphosis, and awaken to a different version of yourself from here onwards. You can let go of the version of you that felt unworthy, undeserving, not good enough, insecure. You can let go of this version of you. You can let go of this poverty mindset, lack of abundance. You're going to be able to really let this old self die and awaken to a more expansive version of self. Know that this is all happening for you, and the divine is in on this. This is all happening for you. The divine wants you to follow this path forward, to take the advice that is here, so that your karmic justice can be given to you. This is about karmic balance. It's time to let go of your karma. The divine wants to help you with that. So release your karma with the assistance of the divine and the circumstances that are currently unfolding. It's all happening for you. This is a great healing opportunity to release karma. In doing so, you're going to be embarking on a new journey. You're going to begin anew. You're going to feel so much more liberated and free and confident also. You're going to regain a sense of trust in the unseen, in life, in the universe. In this image of the Fool, there is always a dog, a companion with the Fool, because the Fool is foolish, naive, innocent. He sometimes makes mistakes and gets himself into sticky situations, but he trusts life. He knows that he is supported and protected, and this dog symbolizes that. This dog is a spirit guide, always nudging him in the right direction, warning him when he's too close to a cliff, keeping him safe. So I see you beginning a new journey full of trust, confidence, bravery, courage, and innocence as well, openness, beginner's mindset. Because the Fool is willing to learn. The Fool is willing to experiment and explore. So I see you becoming more expansive, more open, more malleable and flexible. Really like that. Let's get some oracle cards to close out this reading. There you go, a new start is coming. New moon. New moons are new beginnings. Set your intentions for this new start, like we do every new moon. Keep your eyes fixed on the goal, that this is what you want. You want a death of the old self. You want karmic justice. You want to release your poverty mindset. You want to trust life and let down your guard so that you can embrace a new beginning. Get clear on this and what it's going to take for you to really embrace your new beginning. Now for some Work Your Light cards. Oh, I love this. The ever unfolding rose. It's all happening for you, not to you. Cracked open. It's all happening for you, not to you. Let that be your affirmation for the next couple of weeks. It's all happening for you. The universe is on your side. The universe is here to hold you when you trust fall. Your spirit guides are here, like the dog with the fool. It's all happening for you. Play, have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. So let down your guard, stop being like the Queen of Swords. There's no need to be cold, detached, and guarded. Loosen up, shake things up, play, don't take all this so seriously. Trust life and play with life. And that is your reading, group 3. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments below and what you're going to do with the advice. If you would like more readings from me, I offer 2 exclusive readings on my Patreon every single month, one for the new moon and one for the full moon. Both are followed by Reiki activations for further guidance and how to work with the energetics. So if that resonates with you, I would love to see you over there. And if not, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here. Sending you so much light, love, and healing. Talk to you soon.